Merry meet. Welcome to our little cottage in the forest of the internet. You're joining Country Dwellers with Marilyn and Runa. Walk with us on our path as we illuminate spirituality. Blech. It's really early, bitch. From the pagan perspective.
Oh my gosh. Hello, everyone. And I know it's early, girl. I know. Trust. But unfortunately, because of the online schooling now, my morning starts very early. Like I told you, this was the earliest I've been up since January. But
I
now
don't even have sunshine to help with my lighting in here
I
right
know.
now.
Now they're making the kids actually be accountable for attendance. So my ass has to do this stuff prior to school starting anymore.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, you
Good
know
morning,
what?
everyone. I'm Runa.
Hello, I'm Marilyn. I am Marilyn. And today we are going to talk about number one, the full Pisces moon that comes into effect tonight at 10:30 p.m. around there, and is in 12 degrees Pisces. So if anybody has their chart, like even if you have your chart, you should see what house your Pisces is sitting in and see where that 12th degree is in there. And then that's going to let you know kind of where this moon is going to affect your personality, your life, your mindset, your emotions.
I'm more
Um,
concerned about the upcoming Mars retrograde, but the full
you
moon
know,
first.
Mars retro, it's going to be, I've been feeling this for a few weeks. Like, it's going to be a little tumultuous going on, and I'm extremely hesitant to move forward into this fall because of it. But um, then the other part of me says, hey, you just got to get over the static and just
Mm-hmm.
go with the flow. So that's what
Yeah.
I'm going to try and do. And I'm going to try and stay as positive as I can possibly stay regarding all these retrogrades coming up around election time. And just try and handle it the way that I can, I guess, a lot of wine, maybe. A lot of wine.
I need to stock up apparently.
You can make your own booze out there now.
I do. I've been drinking my own cider for a week now. And we have to
Uh,
harvest apples today. So
it's funny, like you can use your husband making cider as your excuse to drink it. I have to try it. I
I
have to sit up
do.
there.
I do.
So what are you going to be doing for full moon? This is coffee, by the way. This whole cup was
Uh,
coffee, and I'm
yeah,
probably going to get a
this is
refill.
gone. I need a refill.
You know what?
I
Actually,
have we're gonna harvest apples today.
mhm.
We have one tree that is just absolutely overloaded. All our apple trees did phenomenal this year.
Good.
I don't know what they did the year before, obviously, but they're rocking. They won't do this again next year if they're not taking care of those. So we're going to make sure that we take care of them. So we're harvesting apples, and then I have planned a ritual salt bath. I wanted
Nice.
to be in the ocean, but the repairs to our boat didn't go as planned this weekend. We found one more issue that we need to take care of. And
It's
any boat
always
owner,
one more issue. Always one
well,
more issue.
because any boat owner will tell you that owning a boat is pretty much like owning a house. Everybody kind of sets it up that works for them. And my Viking is an engineer. And what was good enough for the last guy doesn't quite fit his standards, so to speak. So, and there's safety issues involved. And so I'm all over that. I'm like, oh no, we're changing that. I'm not going to be in the middle of the Pacific Ocean and a fire breaks out because the electrical wasn't done correctly. So,
Correct. Correct.
so I was planning on being in the ocean under the full moon. And so now that's been backed up a week. So I'm going to do a salt bath in my lovely bathtub that I have. I'm so fortunate for that. So,
Nice.
and I'm going to spend today in the sanctuary here, trying to find crystals for my new dream work and psychic work that I'm focused on. I'm trying to use this moon to do some more spiritual things and not focus on the potential negativity of it. So,
Well, if there was ever a moon to practice your psychic abilities and hone in on them, that's the Pisces moon. That's
agreed.
exactly what needs to be happening this moon, working on your psychic connection, your divination, all of those things. Pisces is considered the most psychic sign of all of the signs. I happen to disagree, but my thing with Pisces, so.
Well, and I, as I told you in our earlier conversation, that I decided kind of after the witch's coffee last week that I was going to work on my psychic ability. I've always been a hesitant hedge witch. I've always been visited. I've always gotten messages. It happens not necessarily when I want it to. And I've been so resistant. And I've talked about this on Country Dwellers before. And now with me achieving, crone status for legitimate in the middle of October, I was like, you know what? It's time to just put all that hesitancy aside and embrace it and channel it and make it work for me. And so I've been practicing and doing exercises to, increase it and channel it. And dumbass me went and, just started doing the exercises and forgot to put protections on. So it's been a little bit of a roller coaster ride here for the last week. So I pulled out the crystals this morning and I'm like, okay, we got to get some jewelry made. I got to make some stuff for under my pillow because the dreams have been insane. So yeah.
One of the things that I've noticed with you since I've known you is you forget about doing protection quite a bit.
I'm just like, charge!
I know, and
I'm the warrior in me. I get the sword out and I forget the shield. Yeah,
I'm all about the charge, girl, but you got to put those boundaries down, baby. You got to put them down.
I know, and I'm working on that today. So
good.
And I just started, so I haven't done any deep psychic increase ability work, but I already noticed by saying, okay, I'm going to do this, the universe was like, okay, witch.
It's very funny that a lot of people don't realize that. Really, number one, set your protective boundaries.
Yes.
Acknowledge those boundaries around you. But number two, sometimes all you have to say into the universe is, I'm ready to receive message. Just give me a message, And I like to say for best and highest good, because I don't want to receive any negative stuff. But,
right.
It's sometimes it's just as easy as that. You're just clicking on that switch because we are all receptors. We are all have that ability to receive the message from, divine, from spirit. And when we open that door, when we allow ourselves to open that door without fear or without anxiety, those messages come in so clearly.
Yes.
Yes. But definitely put those protective boundaries down first.
Yeah. So I'm desperately going through my boxes of crystals, which are only partially organized, as you know. And I'm trying to find my black sapphire because I'm finally going to make it into a ring. Nice. And just wear it all the time. Nice. And then put together a little bundle for under my pillow because the dreams have been pretty intense and pretty negative. And I know there's messages in there, but I'm so horrified by what's transpiring in the dreams that it takes me probably way too long to interpret what I should be interpreting.
Well, sometimes when we're trying to interpret our own dreams as well, we get so anal with them that
Mhm.
because we think that we know ourselves so well, and we're trying to interpret these messages from spirit through
Mhm.
dream, and sometimes it can be detrimental because we're trying to put too much into that dream too, instead of just allowing ourselves to um, go with it, like
Right.
somebody else is dreaming it. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So it can be a little difficult for sure. I know that sometimes with me, when I'm reading my own tarot cards or something, I'm way crazy analytical. Like it's, and if I were getting that reading from somebody else, it would be something completely different, you
Sure.
know?
Sure.
So
I know. It's like it's I always feel bad during the coffees and I'm like, yeah, I got a question, even though I've already like asked the cards.
well,
But you're
sometimes it's
right.
nice
When you
just to
get it
get
from
that
someone else, it's a
clarification.
totally different perspective.
Exactly. And it's nice to get that clarification. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So, okay.
What are you doing for the full moon?
Well, later on today, of course, Jen and I are meeting at 10 a.m. on her Insta and doing our coffee chat. So I'm excited about that. And then later on tonight, I am doing a live Facebook virtual full moon ritual for Pisces. And that is on my group, Moon Tribe of the Old Tree. And so that's going to be fun. Not only are we going to be, working with divination, but there's been a couple different things that have come my way, going into this full moon. And, Pisces is all about that water element.
Hmm.
But this full moon isn't just, for me, isn't just about that water element. Air keeps coming in as well. That air element keeps coming in, and that water is feeding all of our emotions. But then air
Hmm.
comes in and says, hey, you know what? Since we have this beautiful full heart of water and emotional aspect due to Pisces, let's put our communication in there. And let's
Hmm.
really start focusing on speaking with compassion, speaking with love, not just to others, but to ourselves as well. So, this moon, a meditation came to me, and I'm going to be guiding my people that attend into the womb of divine universe to meet our stardust brothers and sisters, to
Awesome.
acknowledge everyone's light. So I'm really excited about that, and that goes on at 8:30 tonight. So I'm stoked about that. And then I drew an oracle card a couple days ago, which confirmed it for me, but I'll show that later. Um, so that's what I'm going to do. And of course, I'm making moon water, of course, because it's
Hmm.
intuitive moon. I mean, way intuitive moon. And my dreams have been going a little nuts too. Like I'm seeing people in my dreams that I don't normally dream of,
Hmm.
um, in situations that we wouldn't normally be in, things like that. So,
Hmm.
um, I mean, I think it's definitely telling me that, things are changing,
Hmm.
and going into this fall, like I said, it's going to be me facing some of my fears, I believe, definitely. So I'm going to do a nice, allow the moonbeams to cleanse me tonight and give me some energy and some messages, and see where it takes me this next month, I guess. And of course, this is my birthday month. I have graduated to taking a whole month now, so I'm celebrating it.
Yeah, my birthday month's going to be a shit show. So I think I just might skip it and wait till January or something.
Oh, girl, I'm not skipping it. I'm taking it, and I'm going to take all I can get with it. So that's what I'm going to do. Let's see. So happy September 1st, full moon in Pisces. Normally I wouldn't be excited about the full moon because Pisces is my polar opposite. It is my polar opposite. And the relationships that I have had with Pisces in the past, all of them So normally I wouldn't be celebrating it, but because I've been receiving so many messages in so many different forms, I'm like, okay, you know what? It's time. I need to start embracing this
Hmm.
Pisces moon instead of ignoring it, and I need
Yep.
to allow myself just to dive deep. So
Right.
that's what's going to happen. Okay, and you're harvesting apples today.
I am harvesting apples today.
Nice, I love it. What a fall thing to do.
I know it's ridiculous. I have no idea how I'm going to process that. I mean, literally, and I still have pears to process. We we put up the Bosc pears,
Hmm.
but the Bartlett's, you have to harvest pears a little bit early and then let them ripen off the tree,
Really?
because if they ripen on the tree, they just tend to go bad.
Got
By
it.
the time they're like, soft or whatever, they're gross.
Yeah.
So those are sitting in a box, waiting till they get there. And I told my husband, I said, we have to process these apples fast, because by the time we finish those, the pears are going to be ready again. And it took us all afternoon to do the Bosc, which were only about 3 gallons worth,
Uh-huh.
because it's a tiny tree. And the Bartlett's we had 5 gallons.
Wow.
So that's going to take some doing. And I don't know yet, but I'm guessing this one tree, there's probably 20 gallons of apples on there. And I
Well,
don't
you
even
better
have
get
buckets to put
busy.
them in.
You better get busy. It
I
sounds to
know.
me like you need to get a bigger pressure cooker. It sounds like. Or
Well,
maybe
that's right.
maybe just a couple more.
Well, what we need is we need a proper apple press,
Mm,
because I mean, if I preserve, I mean, I already have like 9 pints of applesauce. That's the applesauce we'll probably use for a year.
yeah.
And um, I maybe will do like some gift applesauce, because these are pie apples and they are so good. They're so good. And I'll do some apple pie filling. And after that, cider. That's it.
That's a lot of cider, baby. You
I
better get
know.
to drinking.
Oh, I don't have a problem with that.
I know. Neither do I. Oh shit. Okay. Let's talk about the astrological houses. So
Mm-hmm.
your Pisces is in your second house right now, and that
Yes.
second house is about the concept of value. And value overall. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Self
Mm-hmm.
value, because we value that as well. It's about self finance too. So one of the things that I think with this moon, one of the messages that it's telling us is, if we feel as though we are not in that what we feel as abundant space overall, we need to not only change our way of thinking about that, but we
Mm-hmm.
need to allow ourselves just to be in the moment that we are in right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And I am entering my second house on the 3rd. So that's why, like, that it's very odd, because I'm entering my house on the 3rd of September. And this moon is right on the cusp of my 7th house and my 8th house, which is where Pisces is. And your 7th house is your relationships, that coming together. And then the 8th house is ruled by Scorpio, and it's other people's money. And so when I have my second house coming into play, which is our value, our self value, and
Mm-hmm.
then I have relationship and other people's money coming into play, to me, that's really saying something, because obviously I need to work on I tell everybody to think about abundance as
Mm-hmm.
an overall thing. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But I've also noticed that my root chakra is really, really messed up lately. Like my low back is way messed up, your first chakra. And that's all about your sense of stability, your sense of
Mm,
safety. So I think right now I am correlating my safety, my abundance with money factor,
mhm,
rather than, you know what, I'm rooted in earth. I'm fine. I'm fine. We live an abundant life, and that's not just finances. You know what I'm
mhm.
saying? We are
Right.
blessed, and it's time for me to take that into deeper consideration. Um, and I think that's really what this moon is really relaying to me,
Mhm,
because too many things are coming together. Self-finance, then partner finance, then relationship. I mean, it could also mean too that, that Pisces is making me dive really deep because, sometimes my beloved and we have and it's mostly me thinking that he values his work and his money making over what I do. You know what I'm saying? So I
mhm,
think this is also something that, because the Pisces is taken so deep, taking you down into that womb, I think this is also something that I need to cleanse myself of, because
mhm,
that's more of a self worry, you know what
mhm.
I mean? Or
Yeah.
a self projection that I'm putting out on him, you
Mhm.
know? So I think that's something that I need to cleanse myself with. How did you like that psychotherapy session? Was it good?
That's pretty good. Yeah, no, as you're mentioning about the second house and self-value and everything like that. And it's funny, right on the cusp of this Pisces full moon, I applied for a job in my old field.
Oh, nice.
And it was a exercise in having to value the knowledge, skills, and abilities that I have done and curated for decades. And it's funny to look at your resume after stepping away from the corporate world for a decade and
Mhm.
say, oh, yeah, I did some shit.
Exactly. I have found that we have so many amazing things in our toolboxes, and we forget about them. We
Mm-hmm.
forget about them because we don't use them on a daily basis,
Right.
until we look at something like our resume, or we're asked to write up our bio or something
Mm-hmm.
like that. That's when we're
Yeah.
like, oh, hey, I
Yeah.
forgot that I'm so awesome. I
Right.
forgot that I have these skills. Oh, shit. You know?
I
So good for you. I'm glad that you are acknowledging those and remembering those and celebrating those. That's
Yeah, and
awesome.
it was just totally by accident. I was actually trying to help my daughter find remote work because she's having a lot of anxiety, understandably, and I've been
Mhm.
feeling it too because my current gig is making me go out among the unwashed masses, as it were, and unmasked
Yes.
masses.
Mm-hmm.
And I looking for a job for her. I found one for me. I was like, oh shit, I can do this. I did this, and they're gonna pay what? And
I'm
it's
going to do it
remote,
again. No,
and I don't have to leave the house and be among the unmasked
on
masses.
it. On it. Well, good for you. I'm glad that you put that app in. I'm glad that you looked at your resume. I'm glad that you acknowledged the tools that you've been carrying with you, but not utilizing, not acknowledging,
Well,
you know.
it's so hard. I mean, I already know the interviewers like, well, you were consulting, and I'm like, yeah, but it's really hard to consult in this world anymore if you don't have like big giant corporate clients, which I don't. I always focused on small and medium businesses and nonprofits and individuals, and there's nothing. There's everything has dried up because of the pandemic.
Yeah,
So
because of the pandemic.
yeah, so that
It's
makes total sense when you say, self-worth and self-finance,
mm-hmm.
Pisces,
Mm-hmm.
second house.
And you're already a water sign. So there you
Yes.
go.
Yeah.
There you go. So,
Yeah.
like for your beautiful bath tonight, I mean, that might be one of the things that you want to cleanse and I maybe for all of us, how we devalue ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
how we allow ourselves to devalue
Mm-hmm.
ourselves instead of remembering all of those amazing things that we are capable of doing. I got it.
Mm.
That's it. I need a handmaid. This hair is an entity of its own lately. Ugh, I need somebody to do Viking braids for me every day and then take them out and brush my hair until I fall asleep every night. That's what I
You could
want.
teach one of your sons to do that.
Right?
I bet he would love that.
My love plays with my hair every night before I go to sleep. It's a
Oh.
thing. It's a thing. He does. And I usually fall asleep when he's playing with my hair. It's a thing. I'm fucking spoiled. Let's talk about, what brew did you make today, lady?
What?
What brew did you make today?
Oh, so, we're approaching, or we're in harvest season rather, and we're approaching the vernal equinox, which means fruit flies are descending and
Everywhere.
and just plaguing all of us. So I made fruit fly traps. So you just get a small glass jar and put a little bit of apple cider vinegar. If you've made your own, super cheap. I put in 13 drops of dish soap because you know how I am about the number 13.
Yes.
And then you put plastic wrap over it. I used to have actual lids with little holes drilled in it. So if you want to always have that on hand, you can do that. And you just poke a couple of little holes in it and that are large enough for the flies to get in because they're attracted by the apple cider vinegar.
Right.
And then they fly in there and they get trapped by the soap and they expire, which sounds really cruel, but they live about 24 hours and they lay thousands of eggs.
Mm-hmm.
So
on your fruit.
Yeah, so just put this where you're seeing the fruit flies and within a couple of days they will be gone. It's inexpensive. I mean, they sell basically this in the store for like $2.
Yeah.
For this little plastic cup. And I know I have plastic wrap on here and that's because I didn't have lids because lids are so hard to find right now. I have to save them for actually putting up food. But it's true. There's a shortage of, you can get jars with the lids, but if you just want replacement lids for the jars you already have in your inventory, the producers of them are like, yeah, October maybe, probably more like January. I'm like,
well, I guess you have to
today.
Order them in an off harvesting season then, yeah?
No, what it was is with the quarantine, people are coming back to things like canning and food preservation.
Which I love.
Doing witches brews like this. And so there was a run on all of the supplies, just like the toilet paper in the early days, but it takes way more for them to produce because they were on a cycle. They would produce so much and then they didn't do anything for a while and trying to get employees, and it's a whole thing. But that's our witch's brew, your own fruit fly trap, and try to get away from buying all those disposable plastic things that destroy our oceans and our environment.
I use I've got these little bitty Tupperware bowls. So I use the little bitty, I've got them all over the house. I use the little bitty Tupperware bowls, cover them in plastic, poke holes in them. And I go through about, I'd say once a week and just redo them. You know what I'm saying? But
you could even take like an old margarine tub and clean it out and poke the holes in that.
Totally. I mean, reduce, reuse, recycle. I mean, you can do that. Actually, that is our next subject. What are you doing for the reduce, reuse, recycle?
So I am really big about, if I have to buy store-bought produce, I try to buy organic, and you can grow your own. So this is the root of celery. I just started this yesterday and put it in a little bit of water and it will root. And then once the roots are nice and solid, you can put it in the ground and you have your own celery. Celery is something we eat a lot of with hummus, and I don't have a celery plant, and I've always had a celery plant. So
Well, it's really cool once you start seeing the shoots come up too. It's super
yes,
cool. And then
yeah.
you're like, oh my God, I grew something from nothing. You know what I mean?
And you can do that with lettuce. You can do
Yep.
it with green onions,
Yep.
and
Yep.
so
I should
that's
do that with some green onions.
yeah. Those are super quick too.
Yeah,
Like,
really
literally
fast.
like a day and a half, and
We
you
did
get them
we
in the
did
ground.
the lettuce before, but that one didn't turn out very well. It didn't want to grow for me. Um, but my avocado tree is growing like a champ, man. She's growing
Yeah,
like a champ.
I had a bum seed. So the one that I started when we first moved here at Villa Westwick and went a little moldy and gross. So I disposed of it and we'll try again later.
Yes. Yes. Okay. What I did for reduce, reuse, recycle was yesterday, as I was, supposed to be getting a whole bunch of work done, my littlest dude came in after school because that's our schedule now. Like during the day, I'm school mom. And then at 4 o'clock, I transition into female entrepreneur and take care of my stuff until about 9-ish.
Boss witch.
Yeah, until like 9-ish, right?
Hmm.
And so yesterday, after school, I'm in my office trying to get some stuff done. And here comes my little baby. And he's not little anymore, but he's always my baby. And he comes in, he's like, Mommy, I have an idea. I want to build a Halloween diorama and make a video and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, okay. He goes, do you mind if I sit in your office? I'm like, no, of course not. And so he started doing the work, and then, he starts, well, what do you think about this? Or what do you think about this? Can you print me off some pictures from Canva, and all that stuff? So we used scrap paper to do the printing and to do the making, of the diorama. And then we used an old box to make the standees for all the pumpkins
Okay.
and things like that, and
Cool.
the scarecrow to make it more 3D,
Awesome.
So the whole thing was made out of reused materials, the entire diorama. So
That's so
it's
cool.
it's really cool too. I have to say I'm pretty proud of us.
Well, I will look forward to his movie.
Yes, right? Exactly. Little
And I know
turkey.
what you mean about it always being your baby.
Yeah, girl.
My baby was busy lifting new weights yesterday. He reached 315 pounds for his clean and jerk.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Yeah. I showed the Viking and he's like, turn it off, he's gonna hurt himself.
Right? I was just gonna say, how's his body acting?
He had really good form. He said his knees feel good.
Good.
So,
Good.
you
That's awesome. That's awesome. And they're looking forward to playing next year, next season.
well, right now the plan is they're gonna play in spring. We'll see.
Oh, really?
Hmm.
Well, hopefully they can. Let's hope for that. I
Yes.
have a feeling like around Easter, things will start clearing up. That's my feeling.
I hope. I have the hope too.
Girl, I hope so too, for real. Okay, so I'm gonna go grab my gonger. I'll be right back. My
Okay.
gonger. Okay. All right, my sweet. Any last things you would like to discuss before we go into spell?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am. Okay, so with the full moon coming into play, a wonderful cleansing bath is amazing. If you're near the ocean, try and just walk into the, you don't have to put the whole body in the ocean either.
Mhm.
You can just do your feet, walking in the sand barefoot, just walking into that beautiful salt water, allowing that water to cleanse you. And if you can do it underneath the full moon, holy shit, it'd be amazing, right? I wish we
Mhm.
could. So wish that we could right now. Um, Allow that moon to cleanse, allow the moon to remind us to dive within the deepest part of ourselves. This Pisces moon is all about that.
Right.
And find that truth. Don't be afraid to see it. and speak to ourselves kindly, speak to others kindly with compassion and love. That's the big thing, I think. And even when we acknowledge things like self-value and stuff like that, don't be hard on ourselves. Be nice to ourselves.
Yes.
The card that I drew is the moon card, and it's Mama Kila, and she is the moon, one of the moon goddesses from Inca. And she reminds us that things happen when they're supposed to happen, how they're supposed to happen. Stop fighting it. Stop fighting it. Universe knows our path for best and highest good. And she reminds us, especially during this full moon, I mean, look at these beautiful blue colors.
Gorgeous.
You know,
Gorgeous.
she reminds us during this full moon that we may feel as though we're not in the situation that we want to be in, but we're exactly where we need to be. Exactly where we need to be.
Mm-hmm.
Come here. Come here to mommy. So that is the moon message. Stop fighting it. And stop fighting those waves. You know, stop fighting them. Just allow yourself to flow with them. Either go back in or go back out, you know?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Like the tide.
Exactly. Exactly. Like that beautiful ocean tide. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and do our spell. She calls to me, my mother moon. She shows me in dreams, speak in peace and live in love, are the words she whispers from above. I stand under her light, her rays shining down upon me. I'm not afraid of the darkness. My heart is full, my mind is clear, and my voice sings with the words of divine love. So it is.
Thank you for spending this time with us. Go in peace, love, and light.
The circle is open, but unbroken. Until we meet again, my darlings, merry part
Heart and blessed be.